Evening, everyone, and welcome to our research paper publication, where we try to bring you the various different research papers that have been published by our specialist team. Now, the idea behind this is that to encourage further participation and further enhancement of your own skill sets. So, today we are going to talk to Aivarajan, who has had his research paper published in an international journal. So, Aivarajan, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Aditya. I'm happy to meet you after a long time. Yeah, good evening.
So, Aivarajan, why don't you tell us about the project that you worked on?
Yeah, so before getting to that, I would like to just express my sincere thanks to Mr. Bharani and Sharath, as well as to Aditya, for helping me for throughout the project. Not only for helping supporting the project, but also make my project into the international research paper to be published. So that's a very crucial one. So this is mandatory for me to this point of time. I would like to explain my sincere thanks for this. So with this, yes, we can just let's start our something I can talk about the presentation. I mean about the project. So yes, so our topic title is efficient transportation cost minimization strategy in supply chain management. So this is the project we have done, and it published in the International Journal of Innovative Science and Research Terminology. I mean Technology. It's about the sand manufacturing company. Our client was sand manufacturing company, one of the popular one in across all the Telangana and Andhra Pradesh state. So what happening there is just they are manufacturing the sand, okay, with high quality, with various, and also they just manufacturing the various industrial applications, as well as some construction materials. So the main important thing for in sand manufacturing is the transportation. So the transportation of products play a crucial role in any manufacturing company. In case of sand manufacturing company, they need to distribute the sand to the different construction sites or different parties, as well as different the construction sites, right? So transportation is very important thing, and the main business problem what we have taken here is it's a crucial one. So our focus was optimizing transportation cost for a sand manufacturing company. So that the reason was our manufacturing company mostly relies on third party logistics. They don't have their own vehicles. So because of this, they just facing the high transportation cost, which leads to minimize the profit. So our goal was to find the way to minimize the cost. That's our overall business problem, Aditya. And moreover, our objective is very clear. So first, we found that total how to minimize the transportation cost according to the customer demand. Second, we need to determine. We had determined that optimal allocation of sand quantity. I mean shipment. I'm talking about the shipment. How much quantity should distribute to the particular parties, because they have a different warehouses stand, so where they distributed sand from the different places. So this is mandatory to so this is so it's a mandatory to find optimal quantity of the sand from the particular which warehouses to which party. So that's our overall objective, Aditya.
Okay.
And yes, that's the overall business problem and our objectives.
Okay. And what about the what kind of data were we dealing with here?
Yes, actually, when come to the data, since we are working for the client, and we got a data from the client end itself. So our data set comprises overall 63,687 rows. That means customer details, and 23 columns. 20, I mean that we have a variable, different variables, but we are not used to all the variables here. And the data consists. The data duration was from April 2022 March 2023, around 1 year data. So from this, we just take some specified variables only. For example, party name. Party name means where they want to distribute the sand. The receiver end. Also warehouses, the supplier end, that means the our client place. Okay, so we have a more, I think we have a 5 different warehouses. From that, sand has been distributing to the different place. So overall, we have a data column like demand, supplier end, demand end, and quantity of sand, how much quantity they need to transport, as well as distance from the each warehouse to each parties, as well as cost per metric ton. So these are the variables we had data collection. This was our data collection, Aditya.
So finally, we will come to our, main
Method.
point, the machine learning techniques that we used
Yes.
in this project.
This project, to be frank, this project, we haven't used any machine learning method. Interestingly, we used a solver method as well as Python libraries. It's one of the exclusive one. That means usually people will do for any prediction, or because it's more rely on prescriptive analytics project. So what happened here is, once we collect the data from the customer, we take a small top 10 parties, and we apply for solver methodology by using Microsoft Excel. One of the interesting fact here. So what we have done is, just we find out what is the business problem and objective function. So here our objective function is, right, to minimize the transportation cost. To minimize the transportation cost. So what we have done here is, we just took Excel. In this Excel, in the row, we have taken different warehouses. In the column, we have taken the quantity of right, how much quantity they need to supply. In the another sheet, we had in the below, we had same with the warehouses, and how much distance to the parties. So we find total transportation cost, and we applied solver methodology. So solver methodology is one of the technique which very important in the Microsoft Excel. Okay, so that will majorly helps to for majorly we helps to solve the complex problem, to find the optimal result for any problems in Microsoft Excel. So, and when come to algorithms, we used bulk library to solve by using Python. So for that, we found some decision variable. The decision variable is how much amount of quantity sand from warehouses to party, and as well as objective functions. Yes, as I mentioned before, and constraint here is, every warehouses may not transport to every parties. So that's the result. That's what most of the result was revolving around there. So from particular, that's one of the main constraint, Aditya. We cannot distribute overall quantity every warehouses to every parties. It's not possible over there, because it is from the manufacturing end. The construction was made by manufacturing end. So as a result and discussion, when come to the result part, by applying our solver methodology and pulp library, right, and we have successfully minimized the sand transportation cost from the given data. The successful was, we will be able to we will be able to minimize up to 5.5 reduction cost in transportation. That's a successful, right? And we used, if we flexible with the constraint, we can go up to 10.42 percentage of, we can minimize the transportation cost. So that's very successful things by using solver and bulb library, Aditya. So ultimately, we are very happy with that, and even client also very happy with this, with our result. So that's one of the important thing in prescriptive owner, because we are not only for prediction, we are not doing prediction, we are giving suggestion to the client end. So this, if they supply the quantity of sand from the particular warehouse to particular parties, they could minimize the cost. So that's overall about the aim of a project, and we achieved that, Aditya. It's very happy to say that. And this also published. So the main important thing was this also published in the international journal, published also in technology, research and technology. So that's main thing we observed out here.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that detailed description, Aivarajan. It was a pleasure to have you join us today
Yeah, Aditya.
and just explain what is essentially a very unique solution that was created for the end user. So Thank you so much once again. And thank you so much for everyone who has tuned in today. Please do follow us on our Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn for further such content. And good evening, everyone, and have a great weekend.
Thank you, Adya. Once again, I'll thank you for you and King for making me this presentation possible. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.